All right, guys, my name's Keeley Davis. I work for a company called TeamSnap. A lot of people get us confused with Snapchat. We're not Snapchat. We sit at the center of the youth sports universe. Essentially what we do is we simplify all the management and communication around youth sports, right? And in doing so, we actually get to empower brands at the national level, also in Canada, to be able to reach this valuable audience of household decision makers and the next generation directly in their place of passion. I have the pleasure of introducing, on top of Tim, Santhi, the COO of Wells Enterprise. Again, as Tim had mentioned, Blue Bunny, Bomb Pops, right? Classics, and also Halo Top. So thank you for joining us today. We appreciate that. So I wanted to start off with that first question, right? We had time earlier this week, maybe it was last week, to kind of dive in and figure out what's the story that we want to tell, right? Around brand relevance and cultural relevance, and how you guys at Wells across your portfolio brands build that, right? And so you've been at Wells for over a year now, representing these beloved family brands. Help us understand what's been most exciting for you over this last year.
Absolutely. Thank you once again for having me here. And as the Chief Commercial Officer of Wells, I'm so proud and excited to be elevating our iconic portfolio of brands. So from the 100-year-old brand Blue Bunny to Bomb Pop, which is more younger, around 35 plus, and Halo Top, which is much younger, around 15 years plus. So, and caters to different audiences, right? Based on their age, you can see they cater to a different diverse set of audiences. And over my 2 years here at Wells, I am super pumped that my team has been able to engage meaningfully with a diverse portfolio of consumers in a relevant way at the right time, at the right place, in the right way. Thank you.
Excellent, and I'm sure everyone in this room could name their favorite, whether it's a Blue Bunny, ice cream product, a Halo ice cream product, or one of the various different flavors now across Bomb Pops. So from your experience, Santhi, how does a brand create that cultural relevancy and really maintain it?
So we as a team at Wells follow 3 main principles. One is truly embedded and living the consumer insight of our target audience. And that is why we have built up a strong insights team within our organization to be able to tap into the consumer psyche, and we live in and breathe in and out. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is connecting with consumers in a meaningful and engaging way. And there are various ways to do that. And number 3, I would say, is personalizing that message in a meaningful way to the audience at the right time, at the right place.
You mentioned authenticity and authentic content. We know that's a theme today, and we've heard that before. Help us understand. Can you explain what that means from your perspective and from the Wells Enterprise perspective across the portfolio of brands?
I'll give an example of Halo Top. Of real authentic content is something I go by for Halo Top. So our target audience is millennials. And Halo Top, born in the California area, we know that that generation of millennials does not rely on advertising. They trust brands where it's not about brands talking to them. It's about how they individually resonate and connect with the values of the brand. So we have a purpose for Halo Top. And we leverage our heavy users, our influencers, to provide real, authentic content of how they use the brand and why they use our brand. And they spread our message for us. It's not us pushing our message. We don't talk to our consumers. We don't message to our consumers. Our loyal consumers do the work for us. And it's not a mega TV shoot. It is not a fully produced, high-dollar volume creative. It is real, authentic video content, maybe what somebody is doing on their iPhone now, and that is what spreads virally online, and that is that real, authentic message that we have leveraged to grow our Halo Top. And as a result, we are one of the fastest growing brands among Gen Z, and one of the fastest growing brands where this consumer shops on Instacart and DoorDash.
The influencer world, it's powerful. All right, Santhi, consumer trends are fast evolving. In fact, I had a conversation earlier today about being at brand innovators in 2021. We're coming out of COVID-ish. It was the first event post-COVID. I remember we all were there, like we didn't know how to engage with one another. It was very awkward. Anyways, we kept hearing metaverse, 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 right? Which was interesting also coming out of COVID because we all wanted to be with people. We didn't want to be in a virtual world. So I didn't quite understand that. But anyways, now we hear AI. What do you think's next, right? What do you think, what do you think's next, and how are you helping, or how are you staying ahead of those cultural trends, right, when you think about the future? Or what are some of the ways that you do so?
So we think metaverse is at one time, we think artificial is one time. I'm dating myself now, and I mentioned this before. 30 years ago in college, I did my thesis doing my engineering on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has evolved over time. It has been robotics for automation. Then it has been machine learning, which we use today for connecting and hyper-targeting with our consumers and delivering personalized messaging. Then the version or the environment that artificial intelligence has created is the metaverse, where gaming takes place and we engage with consumers in gaming. And of course, there's drone delivery, which on the conversion side is executed through artificial intelligence. And most recently is generative AI, which is what you know all about ChatGPT and how advertisers have leveraged various ways of using generative AI to customize these messaging. So AI is a progression which is not going to die, and it is going to evolve over time, and it is up to us as marketers to capitalize on artificial intelligence and apply it in our day-to-day world through the marketing funnel, whether it be awareness to hyper-target, whether it's engagement during gaming with bump up that we do, or whether it's conversion to actually transform through our generative search engines.
Excellent. You also mentioned really understanding and tapping into the mindset, understanding the consumer psyche. You also, in our conversation, mentioned social listening. Help us understand, like, as your team dives further into that, how you're really leveraging that to kind of set the stage for the future.
So as I mentioned earlier, listening, understanding, and living the consumer and shopper is paramount. And all of us, we are all CPG companies, we all have our trend reports, we have our consumer focus groups. I mean, this is not new. I mean, it's commonplace over the past 20 years. In my experience at Hershey's, Colgate, Walmart, we all do this, and I'm sure all of us in this audience do this, and I'm not going to be preaching to this audience. But what I take pride in myself and shock sometimes my team members, is making sure that I dedicate time to participate in one-on-one interviews with consumers and working with shop-alongs and working with customers at least once a quarter. So if my team is surprised by me visiting a focus group or a mind modeling exercise, they are not surprised at all. They know Santhi will show up. Yes, she will attend some of those meetings at 8 o'clock at night or early in the morning. And that is important because I am connecting with the consumer, not just reading a report about it. I am interpreting and guiding the team along on the questions that are important for our brand, and also to understand and interpret the consumer point of view. It is also critical to understand the shopper dynamic online or in store, and I do an e-commerce audit every week, and to search online to see what's happening and to pressure test the strength of our content. So my encouragement is for all leaders to be closely connected with our consumer and live and breathe our consumer.
Excellent. All right. Also, one of the things that you mentioned is, as far as staying culturally relevant, I know other people have talked about Taylor Swift. Obviously, the first thing this morning, Jason Kelsey and Taylor Swift, as far as the ranch and or seamlessly seemingly ranch. That's what it was. Bringing the red and the teal together, and that you guys leveraged,
Yep.
that cultural thread as well.
Yes,
Taylor Swift.
If I may, so what we did is leverage the power of social listening and be culturally relevant. So when this trend was going on, we were able to adapt our content online in an agile manner to tap into this trend. And we know that our brand connects with the audience who also happen to be fans of Taylor Swift. So we asked them, or on social media, what flavors do they love when they are jamming to the music of Taylor Swift? It's a simple question, but then we are resonating with the consumer, with their favorite fans, and they are able to engage with us through a celebrity which we didn't have to pay.
My answer would be peanut butter cup.
I'll take that feedback. I'm listening to a consumer.
I'm a sucker for peanut butter cup. All right, Santhi. So what are some of the future forward strategies you've led that have helped your portfolio of brands stay ahead of the curve or set the foundation for the future?
Yeah, so one of the strategies that I will highlight here, I know we talked about Bomb Pop, and we talked about the metaverse and gaming. So one of our brands, Bomb Pop, targets the tween audience. And living through the life of the tween, especially in the summertime, when their way of engagement is through gaming, and they spend tons and tons of time in the gaming environment. And we know that tweens and teens cannot be advertised to. We also know that at that life stage, they are not going to listen to what is being said to them. As you all know, right? I've got a teen, and you all have teens and tweens in your life. They're not going to listen to anything you say. They make their own opinion. I see some nods in the room. So we wanted to integrate our brand in the environment that they choose to be in. So we integrated Bomb Pop in the Roblox environment, in Restaurant Tycoon gaming environment, and it was done in a seamless way, and at the same time integrating our brand cues of the red, white, and blue along the environment and creating merchandising for them to engage with our brand. As a result, the time spent in the environment increased. The engagement that we had with our brand Bomb Pop also doubled, and Bomb Pop was the most sold was the number one item sold in the restaurant tycoon game, beating cheeseburger. So that's something, and yes, and that is a demonstration of the engagement that we have with tweens, and it is without advertising, it is being unobtrusive, it is being in the environment that they are in, and we are engaging with our target consumer, and as a result, we saw a lift in our sales as well.
So when I think of Bomb Pop, this is a personal story of my own. I have a 7-year-old daughter, Charlotte, who's equally as sweet as she is spicy. She's not a wildflower, which is great, but anyways, she is all about the Bomb Pop. In fact, she saw recently that there was a unicorn flavor Bomb Pop. So that's on the grocery list. I'll tell you all, and I think I'm probably getting some head nods in the room of parents with young kids and even kids that are aging up into that tween audience. But I have Bomb Pops, and it's not because you're sitting here. I have Bomb Pops in my freezer at all times. After soccer, it's Charlotte's little go-to snack with her friends. In addition to, we happen to be, I don't know, I guess we're like the neighborhood like playhouse where everyone kind of comes, and I feel as though I'm always feeding the kids, afterwards. I'm getting some head nods too here. So it sounds like you've got the audience as far as those parents and the young kids, right? But you're looking to age up, and you've done an incredible job of doing that to reach those tweens. And did I hear that Bomb Pop is the fastest growing brand? Did I hear that?
It is one of the fastest growing brands for us, and it is one of the fastest growing brands among Gen A. So as we look at our portfolio of brands, I'm pleased to say that Blue Bunny is growing fastest amongst Gen Z, even though it is a 100-year-old brand. And Bomb Pop, even though it's a 35-plus-year-old brand, it is growing fast among Gen A's, which is something that I'm proud that my team has been able to accomplish.
That's incredible. So one of the things that we talked about before we got here today was the power of personalized messaging when it comes to brand relevance and creating that, authentic connection. Can you dive into that a little bit?
Sure. When we mentioned earlier about leveraging artificial intelligence, this is one way we are able to hyper-target one-on-one with our audiences. And we have created a proprietary model that is able to connect our brand with key audience segments. And we are able to personalize the message in an agile way so that the message that I get for Blue Bunny in Chicago is different from the message that my sister gets, who is based in Seattle. So similar demographics, similar backgrounds, still it's different based on our attitudes and personalities. So we have been able to customize our message based on understanding not only the demographics, but the psychographics and the behavior and the ice cream purchase pattern. And we're able to message and customize it in an agile way.
Terrific. So you mentioned previously how your brands are some of the fastest growing, right, and resonating with these various different generations, which is key to your growth, right, and key to remaining culturally relevant. What are you most proud of, even outside the brands, when you look at your team, that's working behind the scenes to set, your brands up for success? As far as, what are you most proud of?
In order to be culturally relevant, you need to have a diverse team. I'm proud that at the Wells organization, the commercial organization that is sales, marketing, and insights and innovation combined, my first level leadership and second level leadership, I am fortunate and humbled to be able to attract and retain a 50-50 male-female leadership team, and a diversity of styles and thoughts across the commercial organization. So it's not just demographic, but also diversity of thought, diversity of backgrounds and experiences. And one of the key leadership tenets that I cultivate in my organization is the ability to listen to diverse perspectives, both the silent ones and the vocal ones, in order to make sure their thoughts and perspectives are incorporated into creating a culturally relevant marketing organization.
As a female in business, I look up to you. Thank you for kind of, bringing up this next generation of women, and to have 50% of your team be female is incredible, and diversity as well as far as racial diversity. So that's terrific. Okay, one thing that's, we talked about was advice that you would give some of the brand marketers in the room today. CPG brand marketers well outside the CPG space, both, those in there, honing their craft, whether they're young, in the middle of their careers, towards the tail end. Would love to hear from you.
Sure. I'll be short and sweet in the interest of time. Be curious, challenge the status quo, and add commercial value. And with that, you'll be successful. Thank you.